Good afternoon, people. I'm here with some breaking news. Al Jazeera News reports Nigerian military drone attack kills 85 civilians in error. The incident is the largest in recent errant bombings of residents in Nigeria's north, where armed groups are rampant. So apparently, I don't. This is. They're saying it was a mistake. Military drone attack kills 85 civilians in error. So this was a Nigerian military drone attack on what? I don't know. And apparently they made a mistake and attacked the wrong thing, which was its own residents. So this is just, I can only imagine a heartbreaking tragedy. This is very, very sad, you know, and my heart goes out to these people. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu has ordered an investigation into a military drone strike that killed 85 civilians gathered for a religious celebration over the weekend. The latest in a series of errant strikes as the country fights armed groups in the northern Nigeria. In a statement released by a spokesperson on Tuesday, said that the bombing mishap was worrying and painful. So, like I said, this was at first I didn't know who it is that they were trying to do a drone attack on, and I guess it's the armed militant groups that they're fighting in northern Nigeria, and so I guess that was their target, and they made a mistake and they targeted their own civilians, which is just really unfortunate. In other geopolitical news, Al Jazeera reports Israeli raid kills 22 members of Al Jazeera correspondent's family in Gaza. The family members of Momen Al Sharafi, a correspondent for Al Jazeera Arabic, have been killed at Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza. An Al Jazeera employee has lost 22 members of his family in an Israeli air attack on the home in which they were sheltering in the Gaza Strip. Right now, I'm just gonna play a little bit for you guys from the Al Jazeera correspondence news broadcast.
How and where Israel is intensifying its attacks in Gaza. The new phase of Israel's ground invasion is targeting Khan Yunis in the south. It's Gaza's second largest city and home to hundreds of thousands of Palestinians forced from their homes. In the north, Israeli forces are battling Palestinian fighters from the Qassam brigades and Islamic Jihad, the regions shaded in red. There's also heavy fighting in several neighborhoods in Gaza City. Well, all the fighting and troop movements indicate Israel is aiming to divide Gaza into three areas: the north, the central region, and the south.
It's just disgusting. And I'm going to stop it right there for a second because this story about this Al Jazeera press guy, this is like another story, because I believe I heard another story about another correspondent whose family was killed and possibly targeted by the Israeli military. So this is not the first time that this happened.
And today, Wednesday, started with news of those Israeli strikes claiming more civilian lives, such as first aid responders. And now we're hearing the family of one of our colleagues, Mu'min Sharafi, have fallen victim to those strikes.
Yes, Sami. First of all, I would like to send my condolences to our friend and colleague Mu'min Sharafi for the loss of his parents, a number of his siblings, alongside with the wives and the children, in an airstrike that destroyed the building that they were taking shelter inside in Jabalia refugee camp. May they rest in peace as the Israeli attacks on the north.
I'm sorry, but this looks like a targeted attack, guys. Like I'm sorry. Like this looks like a purposeful event. This 22 members of your family all sheltering in one place, and all of a sudden a airstrike. This is despicable, man.
and across the territory has intensified during the last couple of hours and since the early beginning of this round of fighting. Mu'min al-Shrafi family was one of the Palestinian families who did not find any safe shelter out and any safe passage to evacuate to Rafah, which is the south of the Gaza Strip, and they have been living under very intense bombing for more than 60 days until they have been killed by the Israeli fires. We have also contacted a number of residents inside Jabalia refugee camp earlier today in order to check on the situation on the ground. They told us that the situation there is very dire as they are really facing a very notable shortage of food, water, and even they did not find any medical drug to be obtained in order to cure themselves.
You know, as you look at these images, man, it is hard to believe that you are actually targeting particular individuals. It is impossible for me to believe that you are trying to target particular people rather than just bombing a whole area and saying, you know what, if there's a few people there that we want in particular, we would much rather deal with the casualties of all of these other people. Disgraceful. In more geopolitical news, Al Jazeera reports bombing attack on Catholic mass in the Philippines kills 4. The Philippine president condemns senseless and most heinous acts. So it's like they bombed a mass. This is like, wow. This is a Catholic church where there was a bombing that, once again, man, this is in the Philippines. Just heinous and disgraceful acts happening all over the planet right now. And so when I bring you these reports, when I bring you this news, you know, I don't know if many of you have any family members that live outside the country, but I can only imagine that, you know, you're probably very worried right now. You know what I mean? Especially if you got people that live in these areas. And so, you know, that's why I'm here to bring these news reports to you, to make you aware of things that you are unprivy to. Okay, so I'm on the X platform with a post from one of my favorite news media outlets. And they're basically posting that an IDF spokesperson reported the ratio of 2 civilians killed for every death of every Hamas fighter. So the ratio is 2 to 1, basically, what they're saying. 2 civilians for every one Hamas fighter. 2 civilians for every one Hamas fighter. And this is probably a number that's on the board somewhere, and it's probably greater than that. Like, I never believe what I'm told the first time or any time by these news media outlets or these Western media outlets. I just never believe it. So I'm pretty sure the number is probably greater than that. But let's just take the 2 for 1. There's somebody, some military general, some military somebody sitting behind some desk somewhere who says that this number is perfectly fine, that this number is perfectly okay, and we're willing to accept this number. I think it's safe to say that the American government does not care about Palestine. I think it's safe to say that the American government does not care about the Palestinian civilians. So, you know, the death toll will keep rising. The Western news media outlets will keep reporting. They'll keep saying and telling you things like Hamas is hiding in schools and hospitals and play under playgrounds and in apartment buildings and all of these different structures. And they'll use that for excuses of why they'll totally demolish this place. So they'll use these things for excuses. And you and I have to sit back and we have to watch this, and somehow, some way, they expect that not only that we'll be okay with it, but that eventually we'll forget about it. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this. Does this make you angry? Did you even know about these things? Once again, always remember, stay vigilant, stay safe. Peace.